Welcome to Rathir, home of the Scholia Arcana, where our heroine Piroteus has learned much and is now an adept of the Scholia Arcana. She has found 3 stones imbued with the elements of magic: the Sunstone of Fire, the Frost Stone of Ice, and the Lightning Stone of Lightning. The only one without a euphemism. How mean! Poor Lightning, forever disgraced. And that's pretty much every stupid line I could think of. Let's head in and continue our third and probably last day with the Mages Guild. It's a nice place. Nice open training field to blow up the topiary. A blind floating statue.
Greetings.
Justitia Arcana. So, where's the new chief? Oh, it's him. Hello.
Good, you're back. As much as I'm dying to know what transpired atop Skycrown, that'll just need to wait until the Archsage is through with you. He requested you join him in his quarters, just around the corner down the hall.
Which hall? This hall. Through the lecturing halls. Downstairs. Really? Those are the Archmage's quarters? Don't you know an Archmage has to live inside of a tower in the topmost floor, which is bloody stupid since normally the most powerful mage is also the oldest mage. Well, look at this floating symbol, perfect for our stones. And then everything goes wahoonie shaped. Oh, he's already dead. Intricate glyphs surround the body on the floor, seemingly drawn in a dead man's blood by his own hand. One empty space is visible within the complex pattern, located just above the prone man's head. Place your hand in the empty space and join him in another world. Hello.
There you are. At last. I had hoped you'd come sooner. The curse is strong. That you are here at all is a godsend. The creature that has stalked the minds of our savants, Nuala, Kadok, and Ethan. She is here. She has come for me, at last.
But you weren't at my trial when she was unleashed. What curse exactly? Give us a bit of background information.
The possession she used on the savants you encountered. I tried to fend her off. Though I stand before you, the sorceress has begun usurping other parts of my mind. I retained a part of myself and made the glyph that took you here.
Who is she exactly, or rather, who was she?
She is the one that has stalked the minds of our greatest mages. But there is a more troubling history than that. Once I have been freed, there will be plenty of time to discuss her true nature.
Why ask me for help?
When we met in Talarain, I knew then that Savant Inga was right about you. Maybe too right. It is more than chance, Adept, that has brought you into contact with this sorceress before. And it's more than luck, I think, that you survived each encounter.
It's cold, hard skill, baby. So let's find her and whoop her to Sunday.
You will be disappointed. She is present in her spellcraft, not in the flesh. Thankfully, I have some safeguards against this form of assault. But though I've retained enough control here, this sorceress is assuming control over my baser emotions. And if I fall to her, chaos will reign. Here is the truth of our foe. It is the only help I can give. I must rely on you to expel her.
Tell me about yourself before you die.
As the Archsage, I've trained myself to withstand attacks to my mind. Her previous attempts were weak, not as immediate as this. She does not target my conscious self now. She instead moves to conquer my repressed flaws, my misguided thoughts, and she will exploit them in time.
So what can I expect?
The sorceress has taken over some parts of my mind. They will be strong, magnified aspects of myself. Be wary.
An angry, horny archmage. Great. Let's take a look at this book, which will probably have about 30 pages. Which with me and my reading skills could take bloody ages to record if it at all is necessary to record, and that's why I'm gonna cut and read in peace first. Let's give this one a try, shall we? In the fall of the Dark Empyrean. And so it came to pass that in the years of strife, when the tyrant Queen Sedanus had sown the fields of Arathel thigh-high with blood, 3 unlikely souls found a way out of the dark. The first was a man named Elodan Bloodgood, a Varani shaper. He came to Arathel far from the north, searching the world for the knowledge of stone. After refusing to build a temple in Sedanus' name, he was cast into prison. The second was a gnome named Marus Torix, a gifted Gnostican. He had long ago left the safety and comfort of his libraries to travel the world, to learn of things with his own eyes. For teaching a doctrine different from the unquestioning worship of Senadus and her reign, he too was cast into prison. The third was born deep within the dungeons of Rathir, a young alpha girl named Eleanor Brea, who grew to maturity, blinded by the darkness that was her only home. Upon Eleanor Brea's ascendance to adulthood deep within the dark of the Empyrean prisons, the gift of elemental magic came to her. In fury, the girl burned the dungeon to the ground. Guided by Master Torix and Bloodgood, she learned to wield her gift, and together the 3 of them dared to fight against the tyrant queen. Word spread quickly of a new group of masters, mages, and artisans who would teach any willing to learn. In time, other courageous enough to challenge the Empyrean's might came forward, and what had started with a resistance of 3 quickly became 10, then 100, then 1,000. Terrible battles of magic were waged, thousands perished, entire cities were scoured from the face of the world, and untold horrors were birthed as each side tried desperately to craft the means of their victory. The Empyreans sought the destruction of their enemies by any method. No sacrifice was too great, no atrocity too horrid. The darkest and the foulest of arts were pursued, and the cost to the populace was unrivaled by that of anyone's memory. But the light of the 3 refused to be extinguished. The strength of Master Bloodgood, his wisdom and his skill, set the form and foundation of their hope. The brilliance of Master Torix, his knowledge and his insight, unlocked the chains of their bondage, and the passion of Mistress Brea Her spirit and her fury lit the way to freedom. What none could do alone, these three achieved together 7 years after earning their freedom. High upon the highest of the spires of Arathea, they battled Sedanus, and the Dark Empyrean was imprisoned. Too powerful to be destroyed, she was contained beneath what would become the grounds of the Scalia Arcana, sealed away by the arcane glyphs and runes of our three founders. Here she will remain, and you, Archsage, are the only sentinel of her prison. For on this foundation was the Order built, to reach the greatest extents of knowledge, lest the reign of the Dark Empyrean returns again. Guard this wisdom and find a worthy successor. Different paths had led each into the chains of slavery, but it was there that each found strength from the other, and together found their freedom, and so it was the Scalia Arcana came to be. Well, that was a mouthful. I had to do some cuts in between because I swallowed my tongue. So halfway reading through, I kinda got the impression, since this Eleanor Bria grew up in the darkness and then burned everything down, that the Dark Empyrean might be here, since we met the Dark Empyrean also in Alfar. But it turns out that's the blind lady in front from the statue. So I guess the Dark Empyrean that's haunting everyone is the Tyrant Queen Sedanus, which we can either return to her throne or just let rot. Yeah, kinda don't mind the thing with the throne, give her power back. Let's have a look at what's the return of interest for us. Oh, the possession begins. This strange scroll was found in the Archsage's mind. Let's go for another try. It has come. What Ephraim has warned me of. The fear that has plagued the mind of every Archsage of our order has come to pass. She has awoken. She has found a way from her cell. I thought, when such a time came, it would prove to be a more marked event that we would notice as the harbinger of her freedom. And though I had reports of an initiate whose trial killed some savants and drove others to madness, she did not appear immediately. And that was her greatest triumph. For all that we knew of her, we expected her appearance to be marked by cataclysm and chaos. The raging storm has no need of subtlety and cleverness, for with a whim its wind can rip flesh from bones and burn all in its path. But she knew we would gird ourselves for such assaults, and connive to overwhelm the strongest of our orders from the shadows. And now there are two left, myself and the mind of the initiate who was present at her summoning. I have to record this like a freaking book. I'm gonna leave this comment on in. Even now I feel my mind beginning to falter. Ethan Anger must have fallen, and with him there is but one left whom I can support in earnest to assume the mantle of Archsage. But I cannot falter yet. I will summon the once was initiate here, and with aid wrest control of my mind free from the dark sorceress. To have my mind be walked upon is troubling. There are many things in here I wish no one to face or learn, for they are things I had to rid myself of long ago when I assumed leadership of the Scalia Arcana. But if she is to be felled, I must be rid of her. Good lordy lord. There's a lot of reading in this. Okay. Let's have a little bit of combat. And it should be one. You go away. I wish I had something to tell you to come here, but I do not. So we're taking care of this the old-fashioned way. Oh, good lord. The mantle passes. Oh, great. Damn it! Oh, good lord. He has passed. After but a few weeks upon attaining the level of savant, I was summoned to the chambers of the Arch-Sage, deep in the cavern beneath our chapter house, and I found him on the floor, struggling for breath, but otherwise still. Helped to his senses, he revealed that he was dying, and though Balin had reached out to take Ephraim, he had yet to draw him to death. It was then that he laid everything bare. No truth was omitted, no lie spoken. The true purpose of our order, the true meaning of our values and studies, were after all my life made plainly understood. And with that he passed, pressing the band of cloth and the ring of the Arch-Sage into my hand. I was to take the rein, he said. For better or worse, it had to be me. This is getting hard on me, but I will persist. It's gonna take a long time to record. Gentlemen. Stop that. You brute. Don't be so mean to me. What else can we find in his mind? An old patronage. Archsage Ephraim has taken me into his confidence once more, though I do not know why. Were I to appraise my skills honestly, I have only a tolerable competency and interest in gemcraft and alchemy. I found some small enjoyment in the art of creating and dispelling wards, but there's only one application of the craft that I truly find myself attracted to and master of: battle magic. At first it was no small shame of mine that, unlike the scholaristic brethren I trained with for the majority of my life, I did not wish to live my life away in the library. My father, from what little I recall of him, lived part of his life as a warrior, and I suppose the blood was passed down to me. But still, what use would I be as an apprentice to the Arch-Sage of our order? Should that rank not go to a better rounded student of magic? I know little of the Arch-Sage's duties. Indeed, I believe it was my inquiries regarding this ignorance that first brought myself to the Arch-Sage Ephraim's attention. But should they not act as custodians to the whole business of the order, and not merely of one part of it? There are many better candidates among my peers, who, upon noticing Arch-Sage Ephraim's increased attention to myself, had made similar claims in less polite terms. To be fostered by one as the Arch-Sage, I do not wish a chain of ink and parchment on myself. As long as magic changes, there will always be battles to be fought with it. That's not quite in order. Let's see if we can continue this path, or if we have to backtrack. Ooh.
Persistent, aren't you? From ruins to mountaintops, even in the mind of your pathetic Arch-Sage, who, despite you standing here, has given up hope. In fact, right now he is trying to tell you it is useless to fight Ciara Sedanis.
Ah, so she is Sedanos. How do you do this?
In all the minds I have seen, there have been none that carried such indifference as this arch-sage. Does he care about the wars that wage across his land? No. Does he care for the lives of his subordinates? Not in the slightest. He long ago surrendered to the inevitability of my return.
Then why does he fight you, Ciara Sedanos?
Yes, I am the tyrant queen of the Dark Empyrean. The fools of the Scholia Arcana believe I was killed, but the Arch-Sage knows the truth. It is, perhaps, why he has surrendered all hope. He knows I cannot be defeated, only delayed.
Or your fate could be altered. Time to die, witch.
You understand so little. All that will die is this Arch-Sage's indifference. He might actually care about you as more than a pawn, then. Do you doubt me, child? Do you doubt the totality of his apathy? Behold the demons that plague this man's mind.
Behold the comet that falls on an Escaro's brain. More thunder. A bit quicker. Oh, he's down already. It was only the Nescaru. Ooh, the memory of a great sword. What does indifference has to offer us? Nothing! Let's have a look. The world I left. Oh, great, more reading. And once again, I put it in my inventory. Great again. And if she thought that leaving those flowers pressed in the tomb would work, she was right. By the gods, I thought that years of books and tutelage and learning would be enough to prepare me for anything, for the world of troubles and problems that I might eventually have to solve. And they did not. Nothing could have prepared me for her, sitting on a hill and waiting for me as the sun came down, the wind teasing out the red-brown hair that flowed like wine and water, so long, for it had never touched a blade in its life. She laughed, and it smelled like apples smell. She smiled, and it sounded like birds in the spring. I only came to test her aptitude to spellcraft, and in those scant seconds before we spoke to one another, I nearly fell so far into her eyes that I could not hope to escape. How could a force as strong as this exist? Am I just a fool in the line of fools that span the centuries? Disarmed though I was, I carried out my duly appointed task. She laughed and told me that she had no desire to lead a life of craft and books and study, to forsake life as it is lived, for life as it might be. And looking into her eyes, I could not come to find her at fault. There is a world out there that is different from one that we of the Scholia lead. I walked away from the world some time ago, and only once, when I met her, have I ever had cause to regret that decision. Another path. A lot of skeletons having a party. Well, don't mind me. Maybe figments of your imagination, but I'm sure I could use it in the real world, the memory of those items. And now, for the human's talent. Professor Eowillin was sore at me today because my potion was able to cure the aurochs of Cloverblot and Valion's wasn't. She said I had relied too much on luck to ensure my balances were correct, and that Valion's reagents had wilted in the summer heat. But I know the real reason she's mad. It's because her prized student isn't as good as the human. The Alpha seem to have wielded magic since always, and humans have had to make do otherwise. But every day I feel stronger and stronger. The Alpha know I'm not the only human that can use magic to this degree, and they know it. They're afraid they're going to lose the only thing that's kept them lording over us for decades, and Professor Eowyn thinks that I'm the face of the coming change. She's afraid of me. She should be. When I was less than 2 and 5, I burned my family's woodshed to the ground with a thought. Some of her students had to train for years before they could make as much as a cinder. And even though I'm good at it, I'm not going to spend my life studying potion craft and writing tomes. The heat from that fire still warms my hand. It's a comfort. The only thing I still have left. So, our Archsakes is a little fire raiser. Thank goodness it was only the woodshed. Unless we learn he burned his family to the ground with it. Well, this seems to be the last encounter. Time for the reckoning of all. Oh. There's more than one Archsage here, I see.
And so my attempts to foster his indifference seem to have met their end. It does not matter. I have accomplished all I would have liked to. My freedom is guaranteed, so I can focus my attentions on you. You are my closest friend, after all. You served your purpose well.
What have you done to him?
This body is the incarnation of the Archsage's goals and ideals. For all his aspirations, the man is a slave to his discipline. It is a pity. Had I the time to foster some of these ambitions, he would make a useful pawn, just like you.
What do you mean, my purpose?
Do you not understand, child? It was your initiation that freed me.
Well, yes, but...
The magic of the spell could not find your potential, and so it chose the greatest power this world has ever known.
Me. Okay. Time to die.
All you will do is strike down this man's twisted ambition. The world might thank you, in time. After all, you see all the parts of himself this Archsage ignored to reach this point. Let us see if they were worthy sacrifices. You will know my fury!
Well, that was quick. Goodbye. Oh, come on, camera. Well, that was mean. Could say I stumped out his ambition. Real hard. And now for the final bit of reading for today. I hope it's the final bit. It's like recording a book, which I probably have set on a different recording thing. All snippets about 30 to 40 seconds, maybe a minute because longer, than I just stumble over the words. Let's have a look. Mommy isn't crying. The funny men with pointy ears are taking me. And Mommy isn't crying. But she looks like she will. Isn't she sad? Why isn't she being sad? She might be mad at me still for what I did to the woodshed, but it wasn't my fault. I didn't mean to. It just got too scared when that dog got near me that I threw my hands up and there was this fire and heat and the woodshed was on fire and I didn't know. I want to make sure the dog got caught fire too and I couldn't stop it. I couldn't stare and watch everything got started. The turbulence and And I was so sorry, but it wasn't then thought to me. And to come back, and it just got scared. It wasn't quiet. So what's told herself that was going to see him and take me away, and then and now it's me waving goodbye, and I miss you, and I love you because of strangers, and I'm going away forever to learn how made to burn, and I'm so sorry, mommy. I'm sorry, mommy. I'm sorry for your ears. I got quite high them, but that's crying children for you. They get. Oh, wondering that I'm even made it. Let's see if there's a final fight. I could always chuck a fate potion for a second round of reckoning. So, which Archsage part are you?
Well done, Adept. I no longer feel the prying of Sardanis on my mind. You have freed me of her. Thank you, Adept. By freeing me of her influence, I can distill for you those thoughts you have liberated. From my ambition, I can impart to you an indomitable resolve. From my indifference, I can craft a fearless impartiality. The choice is yours.
How can you give these gifts?
I am the Archsage, but I am also a human. There were certain flaws of character that I had repressed. Sardanis intensified those flaws until they threatened to overcome me. By destroying them, you freed me of these flaws. I can give you the knowledge of this freedom.
I wish I had made us save after the reading session. What are the
From
options
my
again?
indifference, I can impart to you a sense of fearlessness. Through ambition, you can gain a will. In many ways, they seem similar, but to you, the effects are disparate.
I can't get out, I can't save. I choose discipline. Iron Horde discipline, because I'm already quite fearless. Elemental resistance. Discipline.
Indeed. You have shown enough of it on your own for one lifetime. But we will need all we can muster to face the coming storm. Now, are we able to depart? We have much to do in order to begin.
I'm not ready.
Make haste then. We must deal with her. Are
Can
you
I choose
prepared to
again?
leave? I am eager to resume
No, I
control
can't.
of. Make haste then.
I'm gonna have a small look into the wiki and find out what the second choice would have been. I took a small glimpse into the Wikipedia, and it turns out the fearless route would be the same: +1 to Sagecraft and plus 5% elemental damage instead of plus 5% elemental resistance. And by the way, I'm taking damage right now. Yeah, fearless would have been a little bit better, but that's only because I'm fully decked out as a mage, which gives also bonus to arcane resistance. And I think later on I'll be glad for the 5% resistance.
Are you prepared to leave? I am eager to
Send
resume.
me
Good.
back.
When we return, speak with me. The sorceress will not be suffered any longer.
Yes, and it may be that I have to put a cut in here and take this a two-parter, because this really long reading session took about 30 minutes, and unless it's just one last fight and it's over, there's just no way I'm gonna let this all in. So, I'm sorry to say this once and again to you. 3 times not the charm, so bye-bye. So, you're gonna awaken her.
I am sure you have questions, and I shall do my best to answer them. First, let me say this. No adept in the history of the Scholia Arcana has earned the Savant's Ring more than you. Take it with my gratitude.
And faster
Now
than
prepare
me.
yourself. The time for suffering the predations of our enemy is at an end. It is our turn to strike.
You want to use my powers to finally end the Dark Empyrean.
It is time for you to learn the truth of our order. The truth of Sierra Sardanus and the fall of the Dark Empyrean. Sierra Sardanus was never killed, Savant. She was imprisoned within the very stones of Rithia. Because of you, she has awakened, and though trapped, she has proven formidable. Now to destroy her, we must release her.
Tell me something I don't know. It seems kind of foolish to let her go.
It is risky, but Sardanus has been using this prison to her advantage. It contains her, but it also protects her from us. We cannot hope to best a foe we cannot reach, so we must release her. We will finish the plan she started, the plan she possessed our savants for Sun, Frost, and Stormstone. Placing them here will free her.
So, what are you gonna do? I don't care why it's my
Since
fault.
her awakening,
Deal with
Sardanus
stuff.
has been reaching out from her prison and possessing mages within our order. Her goal was the creation of 3 elemental keys, the Sun, Storm, and Frost stones that you hold now. We will use these keys exactly as Sardanus intended. We will free her, and I will kill her.
And I was wrong when I was jabbering about this lightning stone only having for the lightning element. I'm sorry, lightning stone, you are the storm stone. So let's do it, let's unleash the storm.
The brilliant Savaladan Bloodgood led the founders to build the very grounds of the Scholia Arcana into a spell. The glyph that imprisons Sardanus. Let the magic guide you. Walk the grounds and place each key with the appropriate founder, and the spell will be undone. When Sardanus is free, join me at the center of the glyph. She will emerge, and I shall make my stand. Good luck.
Well, I'm pretty sure flame goes to Brian. Master Minx? Maybe lightning. Yeah, he's got a storm. He'll get a frost one. And the other one starts chanting.
The prison is weakening. Only one more key remains.
You know, maybe the guards should leave the ground as well as the gardener?
I can feel the harmonies of the spell glyph unraveling. Why does she not
coming,
release us?
Savant.
No. Be
Stay
ready.
back. It's you must. Ah!
For so long, I have anticipated this moment. To savor the sweet taste of freedom, and to destroy the legacy of those that imprisoned me. And I owe it all to you. From the beginning, you've played your part with a bright perfection. Each step in harmony with my will. Fool. So much potential. It is a pity I have to kill you now.
Oh, why won't you just ally with me? I know you swapped places with the Archmage. Must this end in bloodshed?
Of course it must. I've spent the last 7 centuries locked within a prison spell, forged from these very stones. I cannot step backward in time and visit my vengeance on those who put me here, but I can destroy their legacy. The Scholia Arcana will not survive the hour.
Well then do it, but leave me alone, I don't really care. Oh, let's go with a Faith Potion. Where is she? Come on. And you know what? Let's do it this way. Let's burn you to the ground. Burn you more. I'm just burning you down. Come on, come on. Let's execute her. Kick. And goodbye. Turns out she's vulnerable to a neck break. And we got the Cowl of the Dark Empyrean, which is a horrible design choice. You get this set by playing through the Scalia Arcana, which gives you a Twist of Fate with +1 sorcery abilities. And then they give you a robe, which is an okay robe, it's not really great from all written together, with +2 to sorcery abilities, which is absolutely bloody useless. They kept out at +2. It's complete and utter garbage. I wish I could edit to junk. Alright,
you have done what no other member of our order could. You have faced Ciara Sedanus and emerged victorious. After your trial of initiation, Jubal Calidus gave this to me. I realize now he meant for you to have it upon his death. The Scalia Arcana owes you everything, and are now yours to command, Archsage.
Oh, looks like someone has full pants and doesn't want to get wiped out if I get angry. Well, let's have a look at those rings. 15% to all damage, elemental resistance, poison resistance, 14% experience bonus. Yeah, if I ever need extra damage, I could swap the experience one out, but quite now, no thank you. Let's get rid of the Adept and Savant ring and the Warmth ring. And it's time for one final reading lesson. Where is it? Letter from the Archmage. To my successor. If you are reading this, then I have failed where you have succeeded. You now bear the ring of my rank and office, and you have earned it. I knew the moment your initiation was begun that Sedanus had awakened. Wait, you said you didn't knew it. You said there were no harbingers. Stop lying to me. Writing error. I'm not pleased with this. From that moment, it was only a matter of time before she rose again. I regret not being able to prepare you better for what was to be. But if my estimation regarding your potential was in any way accurate, you have made your way on your own. My legacy is now yours. You have inherited along with the Order a world which finds itself ever on the brink of change. The time of man approaches, and with it a great and terrible freedom. Do your best to guide the Scalia Arcana, that she may guide the world through the perils that are to come. Lyria willing with our aid, the mortal race will not lead themselves to ruin. Jubala Kaleos Archsage. P.S. Along with this letter and signet ring, Savant Matter will also provide you a key. It will open my chambers, which are now yours. Use what treasures lie within with wisdom and intelligence, and the fates themselves will favor you. Good luck, and goodbye. So I will go down and check out all those nice boxes I couldn't open before, and will tell you if I found anything good. Otherwise, bye bye.